What's up? Do you guys want to see how I made this? If so, stick around. If not, then leave. But before you leave, smash that like button and subscribe. I can use that. This here is a toy drive acrylic award that I made. If you can see, it's kind of have a 3D appearance to it. The top 20 standoff, the little Christmas tree toy drive is like it mounted in front of it. I'll show you guys how I made it. First and foremost, let's get into the supplies needed for this. All right, guys, the materials needed for this project. So for the base, the mounting base, you're gonna need white. I used white 1/4" acrylic. For the front piece, the foreground, and the top 20 standoff, you're gonna need 1/8 inch clear acrylic. For the background, you're going to need 1/4 inch clear acrylic. And for this process, the graphics, I decided to use a vinyl overlay. And for that, you're gonna need a printable vinyl and a means of printing. To mount the acrylic pieces to the base, you're going to need some acrylic glue. I like to use number 16 Weld On because it's like a syrupy consistency. So it helps fill in gaps. So it gives you room for larger tolerances when you do the cut. So more room for error. You're gonna need, for the vinyl overlay, you're going to need some masking transfer paper, something to use to transfer it over to the actual acrylic. And it's always good to have a little bit of masking tape. Machine wise, the machine equipment that I used was my CO2 laser, which you've seen in other videos. And I also used my Roland BN20A that print the graphics and cut the graphics. And also you're going to need, I recommend getting some rapid tack or some type of solution that you can use to actually give you more room for error when it comes to mounting the overlay on the acrylic. All right, next step, we're gonna go to the PC and do the graphics and design portion of this project. PC mode. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome to the next step. This is the graphics and design portion of this project. First order of business, we're gonna go ahead and open up Photoshop. Now that I have Photoshop opened up, I'm gonna go ahead and select the artwork that was provided by the client. First thing I'm gonna do when I'm in this artwork is go to the background, make it a normal layer, and then I go ahead and copy that layer just so that I have a backup. And then what I do with that layer is I just get the magic wand, select the white background, delete the background. We don't need that. Now for this trophy, I need to separate the pieces that I want to stand off, that be kind of like the 3D. So what I'm going to do is the trees and a toy drive is what I need to separate. So I'm going to show you guys a quick briefing of what I did to separate that. All I did was select that layer, magnetic lasso. I kind of zoom in, and then you just start kind of going, around. I'm just going to do it. It took me like 40 minutes to do this, so I'm not going to do this again for this video, but just want to get you guys to get kind of like a little bit of the gist of what I was doing here. Just do like a quick little selection here. I'm literally just going sloppy with it, but just select this, go ahead and reset. So I select this. What I like to do is go to the channels layers, and then I just load that selection. Then I deselect it, and then I click on the alpha layer that I created, do something like so. And then this is how you can clean up that selection. So this is the part that also takes time. That's why either you just kind of like rough draft it, and then you come in with the brush tool and you toggle X to paint on like the mask, or X to kind of remove mask. You just kind of go back and forth until you kind of fine tune a selection, right? And you fine tune a selection, you kind of go all the way around this whole piece and fine tune any of the selections. So if you want to take out any more pieces, any elements of the trophy, you got to do the same exact thing. So it is a little bit tedious. Say you went through the whole process and kind of like cleaned up your selection, then you're just going to go load selection, right? So now you got the selection loaded, hide that and turn back on all your layers, go back to, your layer 0. And then I just grab the move tool, and I literally just basically cut it away. I cut it and then just repaste it back on its own layer. And there you go, you have that part. And then what I do is I go back to my channels, load the selection again. And then I hide that. So I have that selection loaded. Then I'll go to my paint bucket tool and literally just fill that part in black, right? So you take the layer and then you just fill that layer back in with black. And then this piece becomes like the background of the trophy, like the I call this the base layer. And then this piece is now separated. It's gonna be the float layer. So this layer is gonna float. So that way when you print this up, it'll just be black back there, which is not a big deal. But then this is gonna be in front of it, right? Like so. And that's it. When I'm done with that, I can leave that. I can choose to leave that, you know, hidden. You can just leave that layer hidden. But then the next step I do is once I go to the layers, I'll right click and just do a quick export as PNG. And then, you know, you just name it and then you save. I'm not gonna save, but same thing, quick export as PNG, name, save. And then that's it pretty much with the image manipulation. This is the Photoshop process. That's all you're gonna do with Photoshop. You can actually save your files and you can close Photoshop up out of here. I'm not gonna save none of that. And then the next step is gonna be Adobe Illustrator. So, all right guys, so the next step is to, now that we're in Illustrator, this is going to be where you would actually design the actual trophy. So you would design the cut layers, the cut layer for the acrylic, that's gonna go to the laser machine. You will design the print layer for the vinyl and the graphics, that's gonna go to the BN20A. And then you have the design layer. So, and I'm just gonna do the 650 trucks portion. So everything that I'm doing on this particular graphic is gonna apply to any graphics that you're putting in this trophy. So just keep that in mind. So like remember in Photoshop, we saved those two layers as a PNG. So we go to File, I'm gonna place this and you see how big that is. So I usually just kind of size it and make it like 9 inches. Just kind of resize that off the bat. I always just immediately make a copy once you get it down to the size. This one you're gonna go ahead and image trace. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I just do like I don't know, let's just say 3 color. I just need to get the silhouette of this piece right here. And then you expand it. And then I usually just make it like all black or something. And now I have the silhouette, right? Let me go ahead and just unite all that. So that's this basically the exact replica of that in vector form. Now I can manipulate this to kind of create everything I need to create, my cut layers, my contour cuts and everything else. So let's jump right into it. We're gonna go to Object, Path, Offset Path. I do a few offsets. The first offset's gonna be 0.25, 1/4 inch. Okay, that's going to be, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, paste that, clean that up. Go ahead and swap the fill and the stroke, and I'm gonna change this to blue. So this represents the cut layer for the acrylic. So this is the acrylic piece right here. My laser machine recognized blue as a cut layer. So if you have a laser, but just change your strokes and everything accordingly to, you know, the programming of your laser, but mine's is blue. So that's to represent the actual glass, right? The acrylic piece. Move that to the side. Next, offset, you go Object, Path, Offset, and this one I'm gonna do 0.1 inch, 0.10 inch. Okay, I like to cut it out of there and paste it back. That's going to be my contour layer. I'm done with this now. You can delete that part, but that's going to be my bleed layer. I'm sorry, that's gonna be my contour cut layer. So what I do with that is same thing, right? And I have a color palette. So this spot color here is a contour cut. So again, my machine, my Roland BN20A, my machine recognized that spot color to actually cut out the pieces. So that's why mine's this color. So whatever your machine of choice that you use to cut this, make sure you program it accordingly. So this is the cut layer here. And then I'm gonna do the bleed layer. So the bleed layer, take that same cut layer and I go Object, Path, Offset Path, but this one I'm gonna do 0.05. And that layer, I'm gonna cut. I always like to just cut and then just paste it so that it's not part of the original. But then this one, I'm gonna swap out the fill with that. And there you have it. There is the cut. So if you zoom in on here, you'll see the pink outline is the contour cut spot color, spot layer, a spot color, and then the black is the bleed. So that's gonna print out and bleed. I'm just gonna cut that out. And then all you do from there is you take your original art graphics, right? This is gonna be part of the file, and you just literally align this back up. And just like that, that's the actual print layer. I usually group that, and that's your print layer. So it's basically the same thing that happened there. So you take exactly what we just did and you just repeat it and apply it to any of the other graphics that you guys have going on. Then that's it. So that's the print part, that's done. And then this is the trophy part. So like all I have to do here, like this base here, these trophies are gonna mount on this base. So I'll just do a quick run through kind of how you do that. You know, we'll just make a base, and then the acrylics is like a 1/4 inch. So I just kind of make a, you know, like a piece here, like a tab, 0.25. You kind of align a tab up with your artwork. And then I just do this and I just do like the unite button, right? So it's gonna unite, and now you have a tab, and then that slides into the slot. So then the next part you'll do is you'll make a piece, make sure that that is a 1/4 inch. I like to just make sure that it's just a little bit past, right? You don't want it to be too tight, but you don't want it to be too big of a gap either. You kind of want to give it some play, you know, just enough, right? And that's it. I'll take that piece, slide it on here. I usually just go ahead and group that. However you design your trophy, right? You're gonna have to design your base however you want to design your base. This particular trophy, I'm gonna have 2 tabs. I'm gonna just mount both of these pieces in here and in here. That's it, y'all. Like, honestly, that's the whole gist of making these trophies. So let's set up my file so that it'll be ready to send it over to the machines. So you just do, I copy those, go to my layer, go to my cut layer, usually hide my design layer, click on my cut layer, and then I paste, right? So now I have my cut piece. So now we're gonna do the print layer first. Let's just set up the print layer. And then with the print layer, you don't need any of the outline, the blue stroke. So you just delete all that. So now, and I just like to do my tighten everything up. So this is ready. So all I do here is go, when you're ready to send this out, prep this file to send it out, you just go file, export, export selection, and then you export it as a PDF. So I just do like, we'll just go 650 or something, and then you just basically you will export it and it will save, and then you would open this up in Roland VN20 Versaworks software, and then you would print it, or whatever software you're using to print out vinyl, or your printing software. You would, however you need to manipulate it, this is where you would do that. You would save that out, export that selection, and then it's ready to import. It's ready to import to the RIP software for the printer. So that's the print layer. And now we're gonna go, just wanna knock that out the way. Now I'm gonna go to the cut layer. So I just, like, the cut layer is the reverse, right? I don't need any of the graphics and design. So I just delete that. This one, I have one thing I wanna do before I do that. See this little circle here? I want to manipulate it to where that sits here, right? Because that's where I need to cut that hole out in the piece. So now that I did that, I can just delete the artwork, delete anything resembling the artwork. And that's pretty much how the top 20 is gonna sit on there. So what I normally do is just copy that, go to properties, copy that. I just do the minus front. And this one, I'll just remove this piece, delete that, don't need that. Take both of these, hold on, object arrange, send to back. Then you just literally group those, minus front. And there you have it. So like this piece is ready to go. So when I cut this out, the machine's also gonna cut out that hole there. And then that's pretty much it, guys. Like, that's honestly the project. So I just, like I said, I just wanted to give you guys like a quick briefing of what it takes to build the actual trophy. So like I said, this is the cut layer that's gonna go to the laser machine. And this is the print layer that's gonna go to my Roland VN20A. And those are the only 2 things you need. So when I do it for the laser machine, I hide all the other layers, and I just save this file itself as a cut layer. I do like toy drive, laser cut, right? And then I'll import this file into Lightburn, and then I can start manipulating it and getting laid out on the machine. There you have it, guys. So we went through Photoshop, and we just finished out the design portion on Illustrator. The next step is to be the production. So we're gonna send these files over to our machines software so that we can manipulate it and get it ready to produce. So I'll catch you guys at the next step. Hey, what's up, guys? All right, welcome to the next step. we're gonna go ahead and open up Versaworks. Let me show you pretty much how I open up the folders. So open up the file. So as you saw in Illustrator, I saved the actual print layer. I exported that as a PDF. So this Versaworks recognized PDF. So I literally just go to File, Add Job to Queue. I got QA and toy drive. It doesn't even matter. We're gonna open that one up, add that to the queue. Here we go. And then once it's there, that's your artwork. I always double click on it. This might be this is a different file, but it doesn't matter. Like you double click on it, then you set it up. For me, I don't really have any like the profiles, but I always get like make sure your BN20A is connected and it's ready to print. Make sure you see that ready to print. And then I always do get media width just to kind of like reset, because sometimes it can be anywhere between 18.9, 18.8. It depends on pretty much how the sensor, scans the actual roll. But right now it's telling me that my actual printable area is 18.9, so almost 19 inches. I do to get the media width. Let me see if I can do 2 copies. Yeah, I feel like this is probably one of the better use of the space. So I just kind of gained it all in one design. And then what I do is I just go center it on the media, and I think I'm good on the spacing here. And that's it with like the layout. And then the quality, printable vinyl, I don't have an actual profile in here for that. And with these Roland BN20s, they have really good print quality as far as definition. Like that's 1440 by 1080 DPI. And it's gonna take 16 minutes to print that. So I just go draft, right? 8 minutes. And then there's and then that's it with the quality. Color adjustment, I don't do anything there. File format, I don't do anything there. Mark, I don't need that because I'm just gonna print and cut on the machine. Printer controls, I don't touch that for this particular project. And the cut controls, I make sure, I always keep it on print and cut, obviously, because that's what I'm doing here. But if you were gonna just print it first and you do print only with the actual crop marks on there, and then when you're ready to cut it, if you're gonna put it back in your BN20A, then you go to cut only. But I also use this as an opportunity to just verify that my cut lines has been registered and it's been recognized. And then, so there's that. And then there's the print only. Everything looks good. But I just go back to print and cut. And then I do the cutting conditions, cutting speed, like those. The thing with the BN20A is that it's kind of a slow machine, but that's the cutting speed. And the cutting force, I always go, I think I go 85 or 82. And job management, I do nothing there. I don't really touch any of that other stuff. But that's it. All right, guys, welcome to the final step here at the desktop. And this is the laser portion for these trophies. I'm gonna jump right into it and open up Lightburn, which is my laser control software of choice. So what I normally do here is just update the overlay, and then I have an actual, representation of the bed. I'm not doing any production yet. I just want to show you guys how I get to the point when I'm ready to hit cut. Let's go ahead and import the file. See if I can find it first. And there we go. So all I have to do, like the top 20 piece and the Christmas trees and present foreground pieces are going to be cut out in 1/8 inch acrylic. So I will do that. I put that to the side, and I'm gonna cut that out later. And the base and the background layer is going to be cut out in 1/4 inch acrylic. I do the base last. That's the last thing I do. I try to get through the main portion here. So all I'm going to do, and this is going to work across everything, every aspect that you do. I'm not going to lay out every piece because right now I just want to focus on the background. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. But this same concept applies across the map with any of my laser projects, right? So like I said, this is gonna be cut out in 1/4 inch acrylic. This is 1/4 inch acrylic that's already on the bed. This is gonna be 1/8 inch acrylic. And I'm gonna literally do the same thing I'm doing here, and that's just lay the pieces out on the bed. Just try to get them to fit as much as possible. If you can see, this is from an older project that I did, my zombie trophy project that I did. But yeah, this is, so yeah, I just go through and start laying it out. One thing I always do is make sure that everything is still the same. It's 9 inches. Yep, that's what it was. And you can do it 2 ways. You can you can copy and paste it and kind of lay it out however you want. But when you have enough space, you can, I like to do the array tool, and that's this one here. Actually, sorry, I got it selected to create array, and then you can like do columns. You can go, you know, up. It looks like I can only get probably 2 on this piece going across, and then how many can I get going down? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I can get 6 comfortably on this piece. I'm gonna just do okay there, but that's it. Honestly, you make sure you select that, and then once you're done with laying out your piece, you go to the cut layers. My speed is at, I always do between 9 and 10 for my speed for cutting 1/4 inch acrylic, and I always go like 24 millimeters per second for 1/8 inch acrylic. But it's already at 9. I'm just gonna leave it at 9 and go there. And I always do a preview, right? You go here to this little screen and do a preview. It looks like it's gonna take almost 8.5 minutes to cut that, which is not bad. And you hit OK. And the next step, honestly, that's it. You know, you go set the machine up. You go ahead and you focus the machine, turn everything on, and you cut. So this one was pretty straightforward, but now next step is production, man. Let's go cut, let's go print and cut our pieces. Let's go.
Bye.